What's going on, guys? It's Azrael here, and welcome back to another renowned Destiny weapons video. If you missed it last time, we took a look at renowned hand cannons from all across Destiny history. A lot of really good weapons, stuff that really just hit, the community hard. And I know some people were bringing up the Duke MK44. I did have one, and I didn't show it off. I apologize. Anyways, this time we're going to be looking at auto rifles, because auto rifles are super awesome. They're one of my favorite weapon types in the entire game, and Destiny has had a buttload of different auto rifle metas, which is a lot of fun. As always, if there's any weapons you feel like should have been on the list that don't end up making it on the list, comment it down below, because I actually like reading all your guys' comments talking about all the old guns from throughout the game. But anyways, let's just get started with things. Now, starting us off first, we have to talk about the honorable mentions. First one, we have the Righteous 6 auto rifle from New Monarchy. This is actually my favorite auto rifle in Destiny 1. One of my favorite auto rifles in Destiny history. This thing was a beast. You could originally get it during the Taken King. You could actually buy it directly from the New Monarchy broski. I don't know what his name is. I was a future workhole all the way. But yeah, you could buy this roll directly from him. It's a really great roll. It had like counterbalance and increased stability or something. I don't remember. It made it like a laser beam. Super good. I loved using it in PvP, which I would have loved to have shown you guys some PvP footage. Unfortunately, everybody's playing Destiny 2 right now, so I could not get into any PvP game. So here I am with this random guy doing Prison of Elders, because I love Prison of Elders. Either way, this thing is a lot of fun. I love it. I generally prefer weapons that have just solid stats overall over, killing perks and whatnot. But yeah, I had to throw this thing in here. I love this gun so much. It is genuinely one of my favorite weapons of all time, if I'm being completely honest. And the effective. Love the effective. Second honorable mention is Eidolon Ally. I don't know how to pronounce it. Either way, this weapon is also super duper cool. The only reason I'm throwing it in the honorable mentions tab is simply because of the fact that it is kind of like a pseudo exotic. It's like part of the quest to get, Necrochasm. It's basically just Necrochasm unupgraded. It's a super cool gun. It comes with like some pretty solid stats overall. Could use a bigger magazine size though, if I'm being honest. Either way, this weapon is super cool. Has such a unique design. It's super fun to shoot. I just don't feel like it actually hit as hard as a lot of the other weapons on this list. Of course, this is just based off of my opinion, and I feel like Destiny 1 auto rifles are kind of in this weird sort of zone that I just don't know a lot about, because when I played Destiny 1, at least for year 1, I was just fully just on my own. I wasn't looking up YouTube videos or nothing. It was just me enjoying the game. I was just having a good time. So, but yeah, if you want to get Necrochasm, I think you have to kill random powerful hive, and there's a chance they'll drop Husk of the Pit, and then from there you have to get, I believe, 500 hive kills. That's at least how the original one was. Also, if you want to get the Righteous 6, I'm assuming you just have to get rank up packages. I don't know if Mr. Sedecutive Hido, I don't remember his name. I'm not going to lie. I don't really care about his name. Broski, I don't know if he still drops them. You might be able to get it still. If not, it's currently unobtainable. I also want to give a quick shout out to the Amit AR Amalon auto rifle. This was the most popular weapon to use during the crafting. I'm just going to give it a quick shout out right now, just because you could have crafted anything. That just happened to be the most popular one. With that being said, let's go to our first entry on this list. So the first weapon we're going to be taking a look at is the Summoner auto rifle. You could get this from Curse of Osiris. I believe it was originally dropped during Season of Dawn, which was like the one with Saint 14 and all that stuff. This, actually, I think that's when they brought back Trials of Osiris in general. This weapon was super duper good. Back then was like the 600 RPM auto rifle meta. So these things were just like crazy alongside a handful of other weapons like Hard Light. But yeah, this thing, super good. I didn't actually play Trials of Osiris in order to get my hands on this thing. Xur sold it. Shout out to Xur for selling random weapons that I should never get my hands on, because I don't have people to play Trials of Osiris with. Either way, this thing, obviously, super awesome. It has, I'm sure it has a lot of great perks. I don't know. I only have the one, and it's got Onslaught, which is going to be very useful later in this video. But yeah, it's a super cool weapon. It has a Destiny 1 style, like, design, or like model, which I really like. I love the weapons from Destiny 1. I think they look super unique, but that's really cool. But yeah, it's a really solid weapon overall. Dominated the meta for like a long time, and it's still a really good gun to use just in general. I unfortunately am not that good with it, but yeah, super great weapon. If you can get your hands on it, I highly recommend it. I believe it is currently in the tiered system. So yeah, go out and get one. Up next is, of course, Breakneck. This is actually one of my favorite auto rifles in Destiny 2 specifically. This thing is a beast, not only in PvP, but also in PvE, which reverse those since it's technically supposed to be... I mean, I guess it's a gambit weapon, so it's got to be a little bit of both. Fun fact about this gun, it originally used to come with Rampage and Onslaught. And Onslaught specifically used to work with Rampage, requiring stacks of Rampage in order to increase its rate of fire up to 3 times, which was really sick. On top of that, there used to be perk specs in the game, and you could get Rampage spec, which obviously doesn't exist anymore, but it originally used to increase the amount of stacks you would get per kill. So if you got 1 kill, it would immediately go to 2 stacks of Rampage, which on this thing would make it go absolutely crazy. Eventually the mod was nerfed into simply just increasing the time limit, but it was still really good. But yeah, this was originally obtainable as one of the pinnacle weapon quests, I believe, during Black Armory. I honestly don't remember, it's been such a long time, but I remember getting this thing and it was the go. I actually used this alongside Merciless in competitive to just dominate. It's actually how I got all my competitive Crucible weapons from way back when. It was such an overpowered combo. I love this weapon so much. So cool. Literally such a great gun. If you can get your hands on one, I highly recommend it. I think I said about the last gun. If you want to get this, you'll have to play Gambit, which, like I said, did I actually say anything about Gambit yet? I don't think so. Gambit's not that bad. Okay, go play some Gambit. Okay, it's not that bad. Just make sure you're not using random garbage. You're gonna want to try a little bit, but yeah. I love Breakneck. It's a super awesome weapon. Literally one of my favorite auto rifles in the entirety of Destiny. So, yeah. Shout out to Breakneck. Up next on the chopping block is the Steelfeather Repeater. This was another weapon added back during Season of Dawn, and this one is... oh, it is chef's kiss gorgeous. It's part of the Saint 14 arsenal of weapons, which all kind of look like the perfect paradox. These weapons are all super awesome. As a bonus fact about them, they were actually the first weapons in the entire game to roll with Vorpal Weapon, which is really sick. Love that. Such a great perk. But yeah, these things are super awesome. They were only available during that one season, which is crazy because these are, like, honestly some of the coolest looking weapons in the game right next to the Black Armory weapons. They did bring some of them back during episode Echoes, but they didn't bring all of them back. In fact, there's still a small handful of them, like Gallant Charge, that have yet to make a return, which is crazy because these weapons are super cool. They're super awesome. They look beautiful. The one I'm using in this video is my original one from when I got years ago. Luckily though, in case you didn't get one back then or didn't play the game back then, you can get it in the current tiered system. Unfortunately, I have no idea how you're supposed to get one of these to drop. It doesn't say in the collections where it drops from, so good luck trying to get one of these things because this weapon is super awesome. Next, we have the absolute monster of the Crucible, the Gnawing Hunger. This thing was originally dropped back during Joker's Wild from The Reckoning, which was absolutely... it was a terrible activity, let's just say that. But the weapons were super awesome. These weapons were crazy strong for some reason. They just put all these insane PvP god weapons in a random PvE activity. Either way, most people didn't actually get this from playing The Reckoning. It actually started dropping from Umbral Engrams during, I believe, Season of Arrivals, which is how I got my original one. I actually had to get a new one in Gambit during this video. You'll see that during the, the Ringing Nail section later on. Either way, this thing was a monster back then, and it actually still is really good. I actually didn't do well in most of these Crucible games, but this one actually did pretty well, and we didn't win. But I still did pretty well with it. Like, it's still a really good weapon. I would actually highly recommend you get your hands on one of these things because it is still a laser beam even to this day. So yeah, go play Gambit. This is the Gambit episode. Go play Gambit, you guys. It's Gambit time. Now, it wouldn't be right if we didn't talk about the God Auto Rifle from Destiny 2 Year 1, Uriel's Gift. This thing was just nuts in Year 1. This was back when there were no random rules, so if a weapon was good, it was good, and if a weapon was bad, it was bad, and Uriel's Gift lucked out. It actually had a solid perk with Tap the Trigger and just dominated in PvP. It was actually awful. Everybody ran this thing, like, all the time. It was terrible. I tried to use different weapons like the Number, but, I mean, if you were running anything in PvP, everybody was using the number, or not the number, the Uriel skip. It's a good gun. It's a great gun. Even actually now, it was like actually pretty decent. I just didn't really get into any good engagements with it. They did bring it back, I believe, during Season of Dawn. Shout out to Season of Dawn with random rolls. I, for some reason, deleted it. And I was actually really hoping they would bring it back with the tiered weapons, because I mean, this is literally one of the like most remarkable Destiny 2 weapons in general. So the fact that they didn't bring it back is crazy, so hopefully you can still pull this from collections. Oh, Invective. Oh, I love you so much, Invective. You're my favorite. Oh, I didn't know you guys were here. Anyways, Red Spectre is next. Wow, look at that, the Red Spectre. Okay, being serious, this weapon is actually pretty cool. This is part of the line of weapons that are based off of exotic weapons. We talked about the Eos Luna last episode, which was based off the Hawk Moon. This one is based off of Red Death, which is really cool. Obviously, this one isn't a pulse rifle like the Red Death. It's just an auto rifle. The roll on this thing is decent for PvP. Unfortunately, the light level is really low because I just don't use it that often. Also, look at this animation fast. Who stole the bottom of my ship? Where'd the bottom of my ship go? They stole the bottom of my ship. I don't appreciate that. Anyways, this weapon is a lot of fun to use. It's super cool. It has a nice, like, style, being like a Destiny 1 styled auto rifle, but then it's got the big knife on the end. It's great. It could have done a bit better if I'm being honest, but that's also because I was a lower level. But I love this weapon so much. I remember grinding for this way back in the Taken King. It was such a fun weapon, such a good weapon to grind for. I actually got this one specifically from, I believe, Crimson Days. There was a time during Crimson Days where if you did enough matches or something, you'd get a powerful drop. And I remember playing a buttload of Crimson Days just to get that powerful weapon to drop. Because this was back before, like, infusions were a 1-to-1 scale. It was like some weird math, and it would be like come halfway. So for a while, this was actually my strongest weapon I ever had. But nowadays, it's stuck at 310. Most of my more powerful weapons are around 400. But yeah, this is a super cool weapon. Part of the, you know, sort of legendary exotic lineup. I don't know what they're called, but they're a lot of fun. Yeah, shout out to Red Spectre for being super awesome. Alright, up next is the Ringing Nail, part of the Black Armory weapons. This was brought back with the final update, which I'm super happy about, because the Black Armory weapons, like I said in the previous video, are some of the most incredible weapons just across all of Destiny. They have a beautiful red and black design. The perks that these things had were crazy strong. Like, these weapons, even like the most, like, kind of like, who really cares weapons of these, were all super crazy, like the bow. I don't really care for bows, but that bow was pretty crazy. And yeah, the Ringing Nail is super strong. It's super awesome. It actually has this cool design, which you might be able to see in this video. So when you shoot it, there's this little thingy that spins around on the barrel of the gun, which is kind of cool. I actually got a pretty good roll with, an exotic engram. Let me grab that. I got a pretty good roll with, I believe, target lock and rewind rounds. So this thing can you can do a pretty decent amount of damage with it, even though it's just a primary weapon. But yeah, this thing is super beautiful. They actually added a, what is it, like the shiny, I don't know what they're called, the hollow foil. They gave it a hollow foil. All the Black Armory weapons have hollow foils now, and they look so gorgeous. It adds like a red like outline, which is really nice, especially because these weapons actually used to have a unique sort of like effect on them. If you got, what is it, the obsidian core? No, I think that's what you gave 801. There was something you could give your weapons that would make them slightly better and give them like a cool little whooshy design thing. I don't remember what it was called, but it was super awesome. But yeah, Ringing Nail is super awesome. All right, here we have the Doctrine of Passing, which was it the original Trials of Osiris auto rifle, or was it the Taken King one? Either way, this thing was an absolute monster in PvP back in the day. If you're wondering why there's a PNG on your screen, it's because I don't have one. Yeah. I only have the Summoner, so that's what I'm going to be using for the rest of the clips in this. Luckily, like I said, my Summoner came with Onslaught, which actually makes it ramp up to speeds equivalent to the Doctrine of Passing. But yeah, the Doctrine of Passing was an absolute crazy gun. It shot super duper fast in Destiny 1. It would just melt you in PvP. One of the best high RPM autos you could get back then. They don't even exist in Destiny 2 now. The highest you can get is, what, 720? These things were like 900 RPM auto rifles. You can actually still get it in Destiny 1. You will have to do auto rifle specific Crucible bounties, which can only be acquired from our site, and he doesn't even carry them every week. I actually went to see if I could get any for this video, and yeah, he wasn't even selling any. So yeah, just pretend like this Summoner shooting really, really fast is a Doctrine of Passing, because that's they're basically the same gun when this one's ramped up. But yeah, Doctrine of Passing. Up next is Chroma Rush. This weapon is beautiful. It was originally dropped during Season of the Splicer, and I love this thing so much. It has a design similar to Viced auto rifles, which I also think are super fun. This thing is just slightly better. I just love it so much. It's got such a beautiful design. It actually looks really good with the Marathon shader, which I know people are iffy on Marathon. I understand that. But the shader looks good on this thing, so it works out. Either way, this thing is super awesome. I believe they brought it back not too long ago. Well, actually, it was over a year ago when they brought it back last, but it's been, close enough. They did bring it back again. You can get it with tiered rolls. I don't know how you get it, though. This is one of those weapons, like, I just don't know where you get it from. It might be from doing the override. I think that's what it is, override. I don't know for sure. Either way, this is just a super awesome weapon. So if you can get your hands on this, go get it. Well, it's time for the final weapon on the list. The Khvostov. Come on, you honestly thought I wasn't going to put this on the list? This weapon it's so special. I mean, come on. This is the very first weapon we all get in the entire game. Obviously, this is the legendary version from the final shape, which I'm so glad that it has a legendary version. I wouldn't have been able to put it on this list. But come on, it's such a special weapon to everybody who's played the game. It's the very first weapon you get, and given that the game is ending now, I feel like it's only fair to put the final weapon on this list as the very first weapon we ever get in the game. And that's not even including the fact that the weapon is just super duper unique. It has a very special design. No weapons like this exist in the game. And honestly, it almost feels like something out of like Call of Duty. It's so good looking. I really want to put the super like black shader on it. Not the actual super black shader, but the one from the Halloween event. But yeah, this weapon is just so special. It is the very first weapon we all get in the game. And yeah, it just sucks that Destiny's over. This is the end. So yeah, shout out to the Khvostov for being the very first weapon we are ever given in this beautiful franchise. Anyways, guys, that's everything. That's my top 10 most renowned auto rifles in Destiny, at least the legendary ones. Obviously, if you disagree with any of my picks, you can comment down below what you would have put on the list. There's obviously a ton of weapons in the franchise that honestly all deserve a lot of love. Especially now that the game is over, I think there's a lot of weapons that we could give a lot more love to, which I'm all for giving love to a lot of the beautiful weapons in this game. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. And as a little bonus gift, I'm going to let you all know that the next video is going to be on pulse rifles. That's right, we love pulse rifles. Pulse rifles are cool. But yeah, in seriousness, thank you guys so much for watching. The last video actually did really well, which I appreciate because this is a ton of fun to make these. I love these kinds of videos. They're just, I don't know, they're just kind of silly, but also a lot of fun. It looks back at the history of the game in, different ways. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun making these videos, so I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I can continue to make these videos. I actually kind of want to go into some other stuff. Maybe I'll look into rare weapons eventually, but yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video, so peace.